And we've actually allowed it to mature for a short period of time in puncheons, okay? And that actually kind of continues the mellowing when it's right. So it is labour intensive.
And where do you do that?
We do it in central Scotland. Yeah.
Okay.
We have. If I go back down south to visit relatives, if I'm tasting this or nosing it, it always transports me back to Islay. And for a whisky that does that, I think that's quite phenomenal. And this is £40 a bottle or thereabouts. And if you think about what's available on the shelf next to it in a supermarket or a whisky shop, there's not much at that sort of price point that offers this complexity and flavour and wonderfulness. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it here at the distillery. It'd be amazing to see if it's any different to the last time you tasted it. Sometimes things taste a little bit better even. When
I thought everything tastes better.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. We're listening to Skibbin's. Good night. Aye,
But it wasn't very much of an interest to me. So my brother and I started fooling around, which annoyed my father intensely. So much so that he went over, just like this over here, he went over to one of the casks and he actually took the same thing called the Valinch and he poured it into the glass. And he said, "Okay, Richard, since you think it's so funny, why don't you tell me something about this whiskey?" So he poured it in the glass and he said, "What do you mean? Tell me something about the whiskey." And so I picked it up in a funny way and I went, "Dad, I don't know what you mean." That's when he lost his temper. And he took his hand and he whacked me at the back of the head. I said, "What did you do that for?" "You're being stupid. I want you to look at the whiskey. I want you to tell me, is it as heavy as your grandfather? Is it as light as your mother? Or is it as sweet as your chocolate bar? Or is it as dry as the dust on the floor here?" So from that beginning I could actually smell it for the first time. It was heavy and grumpy like my grandfather, but it had that sort of rich sweetness about it that made it very, very special. So that was the very beginnings when I was 8 years old. And since then, I've started to really get into whiskey, using the different casks and seeing what was going on in the development of the whiskey. 28th of October 1993, and it's been in Pinot Noir casks for a staggering 8.5 years. 8.5 years. So it's very, very special. It's at...
They bring people back to the island, trying to repopulate the island, and it didn't really work. So they started bringing people in from all over the UK, and a lot of them are staying here for maybe 6 months and leaving again. So they brought me here in 1977, and my main job was to repopulate.
You were born in 1977? You were?
I was 26 when I came here. I was only a lad.
Count backwards.
And I was 6'6". This guy here is I don't know if you heard of Tadcaster Breweries. It's a big company, Smith, John Smith, beer people. That's him, that's Mr. Riley Smith. And this guy here is a guy called Lord Coleman. So collectively, along with another couple of landowners, but that's the ones that were mainly, there was a chap up the north end who was really instrumental in getting it all back. There you go. Well, that's a big one. Get some of that one.